This is Devin Noblin. I'm with your Gunsmithing Tools Lab. This is our week 4 project assignment, and today we're going to attempt to do a complete disassembly of this beautiful Glock 19. So of course, first things first, we make sure that the firearm is safe, and that there's no ammunition. I've already looked around here. There's no ammunition present on my table, other than a couple of snap caps and dummy rounds. So we're good to go there. So dummy rounds, snap caps, whatever. It's the only thing allowed on this table. Anyways, so no external safety. I've already got the magazine removed. Cycle the weapon and lock it back. Make sure there's no ammunition present in there or in any of the feed sources or the bolt face. So breech looks clear, bolt face looks clear, everything looks clear. Well, you're good to go. So the first step really is basically your initial field strip. So we're going to remove the slide and barrel assemblies. And you'll notice here, I've got my computer. I hooked up my second monitor on there, so I got a nice big screen with step-by-step instructions. My little metal pan right there to hold any small parts, as well as this wonderful rubber mat. And the rubber mat has a ledge on it to kind of keep things from rolling off the side. So shouldn't have any problems getting this thing apart. So the parts that I'm not going to really have to mess with this assembly, I'm just going to kind of stick off to the side. I know where the barrel and the recoil spring go, so they're just going to sit over there for the time being. Anyways, first things first, we got to get the back plate off of this, along with the basically the firing pin and extractor plunger. And so there's actually a Glock tool for this. I do not have one, so we're going to use a punch. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just basically take the pressure off of that and boom. There comes there's our plunger. There's our cap. And, aha, with great success, firing pin, along with its associated springs. So, firing pin, back plate, plunger, just gotta remember, okay, so I'm gonna set that in here. Magnet's got some force. This thing only has a little bit of metal components on that piece, so I'm going to kind of keep those all to one side of my little handy-dandy magnetic tray. So extractor, safety plunger, all those things kind of came out. And so now, this piece here, I just got to depress that. And out comes our extractor. And our safety plunger. That. And so that's kind of neat. So these are all slide components. They're all going to stay kind of in the same spot. So far, these are all things that can only go into the same hole. So for all intents and purposes, shy of removing my sights, this is disassembled. I'm not going to remove my sights because I really don't feel like zeroing it. But there's a specialty tool that goes in the front there to pull that front sight pin out, and then I have the tool, but basically you can either tap or push these pieces out. So that is done, major component apart. Now onto this bad boy. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I am going to remove my flashlight so it's not in my way. It's not a laser, so I'm not worried about taking it off and having to re-zero. Go Surefire. You can get the quick lock or quick disconnecting ones, but in my opinion, I'm not going to be removing that a whole bunch, so I'm good to go. Alright, so first thing that we're going to pull out of this bad boy is we're going to pull out this locking pin here. And so make sure I'm looking at the right components. I think I'm going to have to tap that out. I don't think that's going to come out easy. So we'll just give this thing a little love tap. Slide release. should be doing, this is me being a dummy, is I should be using a wider pin. That way it kind of takes out all of the slack of that pin. There we go. That's more like it. Pop. So on the right side, parts that go out first are going to be the furthest away from me, and then on the inside. So, okay. So now I should be able to remove my slide stop. Let's see here. Is there another piece that's missing? This may have just gotten more complicated. Because that should have just come out. Oh, I see. Well, that might have been a problem. Okay, so now we're at a weird point. Because let's make sure I'm not crazy. Okay. Got one more piece I'm going to take out. Take out my firing pin. It's too big. That'll do the trick right there. So I'm just going to tap out this piece. We should. No, I don't even tap that out, I just need to push it out. Out she comes. Okay. Now, there we go. Ha! We are most of the way out here. You to come out there. Come in. You don't need to sit in there. What is holding you in place there? No other pins that should be holding any of this together. It should. Make sure I'm not crazy. This should come out now. Don't want to pry anything super hard. Should literally be nothing really holding that in. Matter of fact, I know there isn't because everything is unhooked and loose. So now we gotta figure out why you aren't coming off, because in the videos you guys made this look a lot easier than it really is. Well, that comes off. Right? Okay. What is holding you down? Let's see why people have troubles with these. Okay, so the firing pin goes back in place, no problem. Or the firing control group does. But why do you not come out? It's because it's a Glock 19X. So it's possible. It'd be really weird. Okay. Well, my other components line up pretty good. But why don't you just come out? Or do you all have to come out at once? Let's find out. Because it's running underneath this block right here. Does this block come out? Am I a dummy? Oh, okay. Well, this is where I'm messing up. Apparently this block needs to come out. What's in there though? How do you get that out without damaging anything is the question. I don't want to scratch anything. Alright, video kind of cut off there for a second. Hopefully I got enough time to do this the rest of the way. Anyways, I found it. You have to pry from the back because it goes in at an angle. And so I'm just going to kind of pull that out. Ta-da! And this should just come straight out, nice and easy. Okay, so locking block. Then my slide stop. And now my trigger assembly should pop out. I had to do a little Google search on what my problem was. It wasn't really that much of a problem. Okay, so this is about as far as I really want to take this. I could probably get these last couple pieces out, no problem. But considering I'm running out of time, basically it looks like you just got this little bar right in here that you pop out. And it'll take this piece off, and then this whole assembly can kind of come apart, which is your trigger assembly. This would be the piece that you'd replace for a lot of performance stuff, but nothing super crazy in there. So we kind of had a little bit of a foobar, nothing that we couldn't overcome. So let's get this thing back together and hope that I can do this in, what do I got, 9 minutes of record time left on this particular video. So I'm going to drop my trigger assembly back in, drop my trigger assembly pin. Give her a little bit of a push until she's flush. Okay, flush there. That looks good. That hole is lined up pretty well. Okay, so back in the opposite way that we went in. All right, that little spring's still in the same spot. I was kind of concerned about that guy. So that's in there. And then this kind of just drops in at a weird angle. And that's why I was having problems with it, because it goes in at an angle. It doesn't come straight up. The videos made it look like it just popped right out, which I guess if you're good at it, you're probably fine with that. And so I'm going to give, just using the rubber mallet to kind of tap that in there. Alright, I'll give it one last little love tap. There we go. Now I felt it click in there. Okay, that all slides around like it's supposed to. And I have no extra pins from the slide side, or from the receiver side. Let's get the slide back together. on time. All right, so the first two things that go back in are these two guys, my extractor and plunger. Let's see here. The long piece of the plunger went in like so. And this is where it's important to know how your gun works, because you can see the extractor claw, and it would be real easy to think that this went in an opposite direction. So that looks like that works good. Okay. Our firing pan. Okay, a little bit of spring tension there, but nothing too terribly crazy. I can see why people have issues with that, though. There's our little plunger. There we go. Now our extractor has some tension behind it. So we got to pull down. There we go. Ah, I see what they do. Okay, so this is going to be, I think I know how I'm going to do this. So I push down here, and I should be able to get the plate up to where it holds the firing pin in place. Give me a minute. Or you wish you had 3 hands. Keep it. There we go. Okay, so now my firing pin is held in place kind of by the plate, and I'm just going to use this brass punch to push this plunger in. Ta-da! Looks like we are. Okay, that's still got good spring tension on it. Looks like it's moving like it's supposed to. Alright, I have no spare components. What are you doing? What'd you get on your gun? Yeah. It's race against time. I got 4 more minutes. Just kidding, it's not that bad. This part shouldn't be an issue. Yep. Okay, everything seems like it works. I've got, there you go, my pistola with a snap cap on it. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of test the function of this guy. Here, the trigger reset, the trigger goes back off. Okay, so that's cycling like it's supposed to. I'm going to insert my magazine with my snap cap. Now, this is a 19X, son of a buck. I don't have my magazines with me. That's a stupid dummy mistake. So for the record, the 19X has a dumb little piece right here that keeps it working with that. And my magazines for this dang gun are in my wife's car. She accidentally took my little range bag with me and has all my 19X magazines. So we're gonna have to do this the stupid way. And I'm going to drop around into the chamber and slam the magazine on it. Probably not what you're supposed to do, but the main thing here is to check and make sure that it still goes click, which it does. And then I'm gonna eject the round, okay? Ripped and eject the round just fine. We still have good solid sear reset. The only unfortunate part is I can't really test. I can't test the magazine release, which we didn't remove. You know, I mean, realistically, there is a way to test this. It's just a dumb way to test this. And it works. Okay, so all I did there is I took a punch and I basically pressed up on the same spot where this little piece of your magazine touches on the bottom, which pushes your slide lock up. So that's a very ghetto way to function test that. I don't think that this is, in my opinion, a complete function test. I wouldn't return this to a customer unless I had done that. So, you know, I guess I'd wait until my wife gets home. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see that because she doesn't get home until after this assignment's due. So thank you so much. Bye.